let's talk about Sapolsky determinism. I don't know if it's being called that yet, but I think it should. And a book came out, I think, earlier this year by Dr. Robert Sapolsky, who used to be a professor of neuroscience at Stanford University. And the book is called Determined, A Science of Life Without Free Will. And I've read a different book called Deep Simplicity, which goes into some of the detail that Dr. Sapolsky is explaining in his book, Determined, A Science of Life Without Free Will. But the idea is very simple. It's especially for someone like myself who's been raised a Christian. It's an idea that just resonates with my Christian upbringing, because it's essentially that everything is happening according to a set, predetermined way, and that nothing I or anybody does can change how anything is happening now or will happen into the future. It makes that old prayer, "Thy will be done," the most complete prayer that one could pray, because things are happening as they should and as they are determined to happen, and no one and nothing can change that. And so I think to be able to accept determinism comes with very interesting consequences on how we choose to live, how we choose to relate, how we choose to connect. And for me, it's been a very interesting idea to just bond and start to reevaluate some of the things that I hold as true in light of determinism. Because if determinism is indeed true, which is what Dr. Sapolsky is arguing in his book, what does that mean for things like personal agency or ambition or life goals, or even things like curating a lifestyle? What does that mean for action, for drive, for motivation? It's an idea that forces one to reevaluate almost every other idea that they hold as true. It calls upon us to take our beliefs and re-examine them and see, what does the idea of determinism, that everything is happening exactly as it should, when it should, how it should, what does that mean to things that we've long held to be true? And so the one thing really that I've changed in my life from understanding this idea of determinism is this old habit of trying to tell people what to change so that their lives could be better, what to do differently, and to just start sort of accepting that everything that is happening in everybody's life is happening exactly as it should. And it's helped me to also be a little more forgiving of people. And I'm just glad that I'm determined to have some of these ideas come to me so that I can share them when I don't know what else to do. When I don't know what to do, but I have an idea that could be useful, I can share that idea without necessarily trying to prescribe a different way of life or a different course of action to anybody, because I know whether I do or I don't, everything will unfold as it should. And all I'm determined to do is keep sharing these ideas, which is why I do that here consistently. If you really like this idea of determinism and you'd like to learn more about it, you can go read Dr. Sapolsky's book, or you can read Deep Simplicity, which explains such interesting things as how it is possible for something to exist spontaneously out of nothing. And if you disagree, and especially if you disagree, because most people that I tell this idea, the first thing they do is disagree with it. If you disagree, go read the book and argue with Dr. Sapolsky himself. Argue with the idea, by first understanding what the idea is saying, understanding the science that supports that conclusion. But you can't just argue with an idea because it's inconveniencing to you that the idea is true. I don't think that's intellectually honest at all. But yeah, this is how I was determined to shoot this video. This is how I was determined to present Dr. Sapolsky's idea. And I'm glad that I'm the one to bring this idea to you if you are hearing it for the first time. Thank you.